Hi, I'm going to try a voiceover for this batch of soap. This soap did not turn out like I wanted it to at all. I'm a fairly new soap maker, and while I feel like there's a lot that I understand and can explain, and can teach to others, I still have a lot to learn. Here's an example of that. Here's where we encounter my first mistake. First, I mixed the activated charcoal into warm oils. I've seen soap makers mix their colorants into oils before adding lye, and I wanted to try it. However, once I added the charcoal, I realized it was so dark that I couldn't tell when the oils reached emulsion. Thankfully, I was leaving this part unscented anyway, and I just waited for it to reach trace. I didn't have to do any fancy swirls or separate it into anything. I just needed it to act as a base for the top portion of the soap. Then I put my mold on an incline so I could attempt to make a nice diagonal color block in the corner. While this was setting up, I began warming up the oils for the top part of the soap. By the time they were done, this had set up nicely. You can tell here when I shake it, it doesn't jiggle. So it's ready for me to mix up the top part and then pour it over the And here's another mistake that I made. I should have mixed the yellow oxide with distilled water. It doesn't dissolve very nicely in oil like it said it would online, and I ended up with some yellow pockets in the soap. This is one of my favorite parts of any soap making video. I love it when you blend the lye water solution with the warm oils. So satisfying. I know that I'm going to have some people fight me on this. I do not use titanium dioxide to make my soap white. Gasp. Here I'm splitting off a little bit of the soap to keep its natural shade of white. If you want a very bright white soap, titanium dioxide can help with that, but I don't believe it's necessary in most situations. Here I'm attempting a very subtle in the pot swirl with the natural soap, swirled into the soap colored with the yellow oxide. The bottom layer of soap was so nicely set up that I didn't have to use a spatula or anything to break the fall of the soap as I poured the top layer in. "24 hours later." Before I start cutting, I already see something I don't like. This is not a line. This is a wavy thing, not a crisp, clean, straight line. So what if the line's not completely straight? Maybe it's not going to be so bad once I get it cut. How much more wrong could I get before this video is over? Ew. My soap went through partial gel phase, which is why it's dark in the center and then light around the edges. To top it off, I can't even tell if the soap didn't in the pot swirl like I wanted it to. There is some evidence of a swirl, a very subtle swirl, which is what I wanted in the top part of the soap. Upon closer inspection, I really couldn't tell if it was a swirl or glycerin rivers. And I know some of you experienced soapers are thinking, why didn't you use titanium dioxide? Well, I know that titanium dioxide can thicken the batter and accelerate trace, and I really don't feel like I need to add more things to it when it's already going to be naturally a shade of white. While these soaps didn't turn out like I want them to, they're still good smelling and high quality bars of soap. So it's hard to be fully disappointed, even though I'm pretty disappointed with the way they turned out.